What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? You are tuned in to the Arrowhead Chief Podcast, episode 136. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. We got a lot of things to speak on. Training camp, Chris Jones, and I got a brand new theory for y'all to bring to y'all live and in person. Let's talk Chiefs.
Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Queen of Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to win him early, hear the truth. Tuning every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chief Podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Cris Style, out here rapping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good Monday. We're back, episode 136 of the Arrowhead Chief Podcast. What's going on? How you feeling, man?
Feeling good. Just watching all these training camp clips. You know, the Justin Ross clips, the Sky Moore clips, the Rashee Rice clips. They're taking over Twitter right now. So I've just been watching those. Just ready for preseason, man. Ready for some football. I think your mic might have cut out. All right, so I guess Chris is going to try to get that fixed. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, everybody's seeing all these clips on Twitter. You know, Justin Ross, Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, even the defense, the secondary looks really good in training camp right now. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the secondary. If you take a look at this unit, you know, going into last training camp, there were so many question marks, you know, about the unit other than L'Jarius Sneed. But outside of that, there was a lot of question marks. And then, you know, obviously fast forward to this year, you get to training camp and you see these guys performing, these young guys, especially, you know, I know Nazeeh Johnson was having a really good camp before he tore his ACL. So that's unfortunate. So hopefully, you know, that he can heal from that, come back next year ready to go, even better. But go ahead, Chris. I think we can hear you now. Or not. But anyway, so yeah, the Nazeeh Johnson ACL tear, that's not ideal. And then looking at some other things, offensive line, you know, obviously I talked about that being the biggest question mark probably headed into this training camp. I think they performed pretty well throughout. You know, Jawan Taylor especially has performed up to standards. You know, especially with that contract the Chiefs gave him playing on their right side. And then on the left side, Donovan Smith, you know, that was my biggest question mark. I thought Jawan Taylor would be fine, but Donovan Smith, I was a little bit worried about heading into this, and I haven't heard any reports of him struggling or anything like that. And then you're hearing the reports of B.J. Thompson, edge rusher, going up against the second and the third unit tackles and just causing havoc, you know, against those guys. So maybe we'll get to see him go up against the first team a little bit more in training camp, and obviously in preseason. Maybe he'll get some of those reps and we could see, you know, what we got in him, because he's a speed rusher, something we talked about when he came out of college. You know, he has elite speed, elite bend for an edge guy. And that's something that you definitely, you know, the Chiefs were lacking. You know, you got Karlaftis, obviously he's more of a not a pure pass rusher, but more of a, you there, Chris?
Yeah, my thing was messing up. My bad.
No, you're good.
But Clarence will be in a minute. He's occupied right now, but he'll be here in a minute. So, but go ahead and finish what you were saying, Ty.
Yeah, I was just saying with BJ Thompson, we're seeing the reports of him, tearing up the second and the third team offensive line. So hopefully we'll get to see him get some more first team reps. He's one of those speed rushers, and that's something that the Chiefs were lacking for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you talked about it already, but from what I'm seeing, the wide receivers are tearing it
Yep.
up in training camp. The corners are getting tested, especially Joshua Williams. He out there getting tested. Um, Defensive line looking good. FAU, I know he had a slow start, but he's starting to show some of the tools that he had with the pass rush, some of the other tools that he had as far as rushing the passer. That's why it was one of the reasons why I liked that the Chiefs picked him in the first round. So he's starting to turn up a little bit. Like you said, BJ Thompson is starting to get a little run. I heard Charles Omenihu is looking really good. George is looking good. So the defensive line as a whole is really looking good. What's up, Joe? How you living, man? Um, what else? What else? Offensive line. I've heard good things about the offensive line. Heard the offensive line is looking really good. Donovan Smith is holding up. They said Jawan Taylor's looking pretty good out there against the first team defensive line. They said that interior offensive line is looking sharp as usual, as we all expected. Tuning, Creed, and Smith. Trey Smith is looking real good. So I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm liking what I'm hearing, man. For sure, Joe.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the tackles because I talked about that being, the biggest concern heading into training camp, and they performed well. I haven't heard anything about Donovan Smith struggling, so that's definitely good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So hopefully they can keep stacking these days with this offensive line, and you never know. This might be the best offensive line Pat has had, ever. You know,
Yeah, that's
even
definitely possible because we Andrew Wiley was a question mark at right tackle. I'm trying to
mhm.
think of who we had there. Niang was there. He was probably better than Wiley overall.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I agree. This could be the best offensive line because Orlando Brown's gone now. Andrew Wiley, they both were top five in pressures last year allowed. So
and I'm pretty for sure right now the camp battle is probably between Niang and Wanye Morris for that swing tackle position. So we'll see how that develops as the coming weeks come, and especially in preseason when the guys get live reps and in live games. We'll probably see who emerges, out of these preseason games, out of him, Morris and Niang. So definitely interested to seeing that. Speaking of defensive line, Chris Jones is missing in camp, man. He's held out all week. Um, obviously he wants to get paid. The reports are he wants something close to what Aaron Donald has in the 30 million range. And from what I'm hearing, the Chiefs are not, they don't want to give him 30 million. It's from what I'm hearing, you know. So this is an ongoing thing. I know you have your thoughts, Ty, so I'm gonna let you take it away.
yeah, so my thoughts on this Chris Jones thing, and I said it earlier in the chat. I think it goes back to last year with the Tyreek Hill stuff because we didn't pay Tyreek Hill in order to pay Chris Jones. At least I remember people saying that, and now here we are and the money's there. It's not like we don't have the money to pay Chris Jones. I believe the money is there, not unless it's a cash issue, which people have been saying is a possibility. But I think the money's there. I think this deal should be done by now. I mean, I've been saying that for a month now, but this is what I feared was him missing training camp, not because he needs to be there to get in shape or anything like that, but just like we said Saturday in the space, the veteran, just having that veteran there, especially with all these young guys on the defense as a whole, but on that defensive line is pretty young too.
Yeah, I hear you. I've been one of the ones banging the drum that the deal's going to get done. And look, there's time still for the deal to get done. When I know preseason is coming up this week, Thursday is the first, the Hall of Fame game, but I'm not gonna get, I'm not gonna get worried until we're like the third preseason game, and if he's like not here or whatever, that's when it's like, all right, I don't know if they're gonna pay him now. So it's definitely something to look out for, but I still think it gets done. I still think it may they. I just think there is little minute things that they're far apart on, and I think finally it comes together. Missing camp always leads to nagging injuries, plague season. This is true. This is true. Hamstrings and groin injuries and stuff like that. That definitely can happen, but I'm pretty for sure what's your name staying in shape. I'm not gonna be too
Yeah, it
worried.
looked like he was working. I think I seen on his Instagram he's doing work. So I'm not really worried about that. It's just like I said, having that veteran leader there goes a long way.
Yeah, so definitely something to look out for. Something to look out for. Um, let's talk about some of these wide receiver
Yep.
standouts, man. Like so, as we know, this year the question mark for this season was the wide receivers. Um, no more Juju. Um, now we're going into the second year of Sky Moore. Kadarius Tony, who's already he already got injured, had to get
Exactly.
he had to get his knee scoped. And then, reports are saying that he might be ready for the beginning of the season, or he might it might take him a little bit middle of the season. Depending on how he responds to his knee being worked on a little bit or cleaned up. So we'll see on that front. But we all came into this season knowing that Kadarius Tony had an injury problem. Um, then you have, everybody's off-season favorite and Justin Ross. Everybody had, no expectations for him, especially with his injury history,
Yep.
with his neck injury. Then he had the foot injury, and he had a red shirt year, and he was, undrafted. So a lot of people didn't have any expectations, you know, but he's making, he's seizing the opportunities with Kadarius Tony being out right now. And he's stacking these days. Sky Moore is looking real good out there. Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, he's looking real. Sky's, looking good. Looks like he's taking that next step. Looks like he's playing fast out there now.
Especially
Just
in those one-on-ones.
yeah, Justin Watson talked about it today or yesterday in his presser, saying this guy looks like he's playing faster. Looks like he's got the playbook. Even Coach Reed has said it. Patrick Mahomes has said Sky looks good. Even MVS, I'll give MVS. He's looked good in camp, and it looks like him and Patrick is starting to develop that chemistry on those deep
Yep.
shots that they missed on last year. Started getting better a little bit down the season, but it looks like this year they've really worked on that, trying to connect on those deep shots because we all know MVS. He was brought in to kind of be that deep threat that we're missing in Tyreek Hill. So hopefully they can capitalize and we can get some of those big plays that we were missing out on last year um, with MVS this year. So, and I think there's opportunity. Even and Rasheed Rice, he's looking real good. Looks like he's playing pretty fast for a rookie. We all know that rookies and Andy Reid's system don't tend to, get a lot of run and opportunity. And he's from the time of OTAs to now, when putting the pads on, he looks like he hasn't skipped a beat. Looks like he's out there making plays, catching touchdowns in the red zone. Looks like he's playing a little faster than what he did when his last year at SMU. I know he was dealing with a foot injury,
Yep.
so it looks like he's pretty healed from that. So he's playing faster. His speed is picked up, which is a good thing. If we can get the Rasheed Rice, I've heard many people say in his 2021 tape, he looked faster.
Yeah, I
So
saw that too.
if he can play faster, then I'm definitely, intrigued to see what Rasheed Rice can do in this office year one. Maybe he gets a little bit more opportunities than what Sky Moore got. We'll never know. You know how Andy Reid is. He'll
Andy Reid
showcase
will play Justin Watson over him still.
he'll showcase him in the training camp and in preseason, and then when the seasons come, he'll have like two snaps
Exactly.
against Detroit. So 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 we'll see. But I'm excited for this receiving core. Um, and Richie James. Richie
Yeah,
James is
Richie
looking really
James.
good. He looks like he's going to be definitely a player in this offense. He's going to get many opportunities. He had like 600 yards last year with the
Yep.
Giants, so he's definitely going to be somebody to look out for and possibly be a cog in this offense for Andy Reid to use as a chess piece, as he always does. So, hey, Ty KTM man was talking Justin. Oh.
Just which Justin?
Justin who?
Watson or Ross?
Watson or Ross? Yeah, for real. Yeah, I don't know. It better not be Watson because ain't nothing to talk about to him.
Exactly. No, man, I agree with you with the receivers, and I really think this receiver core has the potential to be the best core that Mahomes has had, and that includes those teams with Tyreek Hill. Because we know when we had Tyreek Hill, and obviously Sammy Watkins, that's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
in 2021, when Sammy Watkins was gone, the the receiver core was what Byron Pringle, Mecole Hardman, obviously getting snaps in there. It was just a lot of a second and third tier guys. We didn't really have a real second option, though. Obviously, Travis Kelsey, Tyreek, but we didn't have like that third guy. I feel like this team, it could be really any guy, any week. And we're seeing that throughout training camp because every day it's somebody else having a big day. Like you said, one day it's Richie James, one day it's MVS, one day it's Sky, one day it's Justin Ross. They're all, having big days, just at different times. Something we expected, honestly.
Yeah, man. Look, if Justin Ross becomes a major player in this offense, that's probably going to be one of the biggest steals as far as undrafted free agents.
Yep.
Probably in the history of somebody getting picked as an undrafted free agent because we all know the clout. Before he got the neck injury or the spine injury, um, he was looked at as a number one wide receiver, and this is the guy who his freshman year at Clemson he was the man. This is the
Yep.
same. This is the team that had T Higgins on it.
T and T Higgins wasn't a freshman, I don't think. He
Yeah,
was
he was like a junior or senior that year.
yeah.
So like he was the best receiver on that team. There was a couple of other receivers. I think Renfro was on that team. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Renfro too, yeah.
I think Renfro was on that team, but still, like he was the best receiver in their freshman year. And the second year, he was about to stack on his freshman year, but then they found out that he had that spinal problem and he had to get that surgery. And then he came
Then
back.
foot injury.
Yeah,
And
his
a bad
junior year.
quarterback
Yeah,
too.
but yeah, that DJU, whatever his name is, I ain't even try to say
I
his
always
name.
say DJ your ass ugly.
Yeah, he's terrible. He was terrible, and he had to make the best out of that situation. Once Trevor Lawrence was gone, it was just like, So if Justin Ross can get back to the form that he was, you know, coming into his, his sophomore year, then maybe we got something. Maybe we got a diamond in the rough over here. So,
Yeah, I
oh,
definitely think so. Because I think I've seen a mock draft, and it was before he got hurt in his freshman year. They were saying, if he came out right now, he would be a top 15 pick. That was as a freshman. And I don't really think that I know the production dropped off a little bit, but like you said, the injuries, and then obviously that last year, that Clemson team was just bad. That was just a bad Clemson team. Obviously, no Trevor. They just lost so much heading into that season. It was going to be hard for them to be successful.
yeah, I agree. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited for this receiving core, man. I really am. I can't wait to see them in preseason
Yep.
because especially Sky, Rasheed Rice, and Justin Ross, they're probably going to get a lot of playing time in preseason because they're probably want to. They probably MVS will probably get a few snaps. Justin Watson, he's a veteran,
He's
so
probably getting wide receiver one snaps.
hopefully not. Hopefully not. I think Richie James and MVS and the veteran guys are probably going to
Yeah.
get the number one snaps, and then they'll probably put Justin Ross and Rasheed Rice and let the young guys go out there and play Sky too. Let them get some run and see what they can do in the preseason. And if they make the best of their opportunities in preseason, maybe they get a lot more run.
Yeah. How many
And
receivers do you think they're going to keep? I know everybody's having this discussion of 6. I don't see them keeping 7. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't see it.
the only reason why I say 7 is because you can't put Kadarius Tony on the pup list because
Yeah, that's true.
once he practiced that one practice, you can't put him on the pup list no more. So I wouldn't be surprised if they put Kadarius Tony on IR to return.
Now, if they do that, then they're definitely keeping 7. I agree with that.
Whose car is this kid in? Why?
This
Okay. Listen, I got you, Ty. Y'all gotta stop calling Ty a kid. He's a grown man. He's a
I'm
grown
in my own
man.
car, my own whip.
His power is out right now because Kansas City is tripping right now. You know what I'm saying? They got the little storm or whatever, and it knocked his power out. So my man's in the car right now. He's dedicated. This is
Yeah,
dedication over
my
here.
phone's on 3%,
He's
charging
in
it up.
dedication over here, man. Nah, but definitely, like I said, I'm excited to see what this receiving core can do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they keep. I just like you said, if they put him on
He's
IR.
12 at best. Stop. No, he's not. He's not 12. How old are you, Ty?
If they do put KT on IR, then they're definitely keeping. They're definitely keeping 7. Who do you think? Who do you think that's going to be though?
Um, of course, it's going to be MVS. It's going to be Sky. Rasheed Rice is definitely making the team. Um, I think Justin Watson makes the team. I mean, of course, you got to put Kadarius Tony. That's 5. Who am I missing? You can't put
Yeah,
him on. You
can't
can't put
do it
him.
now.
You can't put him on pup because he already practiced one time. You got to put him on IR. Who else? Did I say Richie James?
Yeah, I think you said Richie James. So you
Sky,
got Richie
MVS,
James, MVS,
Sky,
Ross, Rice, Sky. That's 5.
maybe Nikio. What's his name? Regimio?
Yeah,
Maybe
Nico
him.
Ramaggio, I think is the
Yeah,
name.
I think so. But still, he was out there.
Yeah,
regardless of how quick it was, he was out there. So he
he got
counted
hurt
it.
in warm-ups.
He got
Day
hurt in one,
1.
but he still was out there in practice.
Yep.
So I'm just going off what Pete Sweeney said. Pete Sweeney said this on 16 Sports. He said that they cannot put him on pup list because he was out there already. So they have to put him on IR, if anything. But yeah, that was probably be the 6. It'd probably be 6. You're right. It'll probably be 6. That's only because, like I said, if they put Kadarius Tony on IR, then they're probably gonna have to do 7.
Yeah.
And like I said, the what's his Nikio guy, he might be playing himself in position. I definitely think he's gonna be a special teamer because he's a real good punt returner. That's how he was when he coming out of college, So maybe and he's looking good as far as receiver too. He's been making some pretty good catches in camp.
Yeah,
So
that catch he made, I think it was yesterday, where he almost did a backflip catching that ball.
yeah, no, so something interesting to look at if they keep 6 or 7. So especially with no fullback now, that could open up a spot. So another player that's coming in undrafted, Deneric Prince.
Yep.
Now he's been making a lot of noise in camp, catching the football out of the backfield. Now Isaiah Pacheco, he's got the yellow jersey on, so he hasn't really been practicing with the ones. It's been Clyde, it's been Jarek McKinnon, and it's been Deneric Prince. He's been getting a lot of opportunities out there too. So it raises the question: do you see them keeping 4 running backs this year?
Yeah, I think they do. And I've seen somebody say like it's not usual for Andy to keep 4 running backs, but they kept 4 running backs last season and the season before that, if I remember correctly. So it's not like it would be anything out of the realm of possibility. I mean, one of those guys isn't going to be active game day, obviously. Uh, who's that going to be? I think that'll be a week to week thing. Maybe it'll be Prince to start, but maybe throughout the season, CEH ends up not being active for games.
I like to call him Baby Vision. You and Sean Robinson.
He's the consolation prize because we didn't
Yeah,
get Bijan Robinson,
we,
which we knew wasn't going to happen.
we're
But
never gonna get him, Joe. It's okay though. It's okay. We can all dream. We can all dream.
just
But
like
no,
they'll never trade for. I know this is something else. Jonathan Taylor, that's not happening.
no, no,
No. Veach will
no.
never pay a running back big money because he goes out and gets guys like Deneric Prince, who
Looking good in camp so far, and
exactly.
Isaiah Pacheco, who tore it up last year in camp, and once he got his opportunities in the regular season when Clyde got hurt, he didn't look back. So, and he's projected to be the number one running back this year. So, we all expect Isaiah Pacheco to tear it up this year, especially from an all-purpose standpoint. So, yeah, I don't see them ever trading for Jonathan Taylor or somebody like that. So, if the Colts won't pay him, what makes you
Exactly.
think we would? Oh, most
No,
definitely. I
definitely not.
agree. I agree. he's
Yeah.
gonna he's probably gonna have to go to like the Bucks or somebody trash like that to help Baker out.
I can see
So
Dallas being in on him, even though they got Pollard. They like to use 2 running backs down there. I wouldn't be shocked.
plus with Pollard having, an injury, coming off an injury,
Yeah.
you never know. So
But
oh,
Ursay says he's not going to trade him anyway, so we'll see. But
is Irsay becoming the worst owner now that Dan Snyder's gone?
I think he is. I really think he's taking that spot, and I think it's hurting the GM too a lot because I actually feel like that GM had a really good offseason. Like he put together a good draft, picked up some guys in free agency, and now this, like,
Yeah, because
you
they
want
finally
Jonathan Taylor to grow with your young quarterback.
Yeah, because they finally went out and got a damn quarterback instead of trying to get
Exactly. Instead of
some
getting
retread job. You know what I'm saying? Last year was Matt Ryan. I know they had Phillip Rivers one year. Like, yeah, they Still Brown is yeah. Mike Brown is bad. He's up there. He's up there. He's cheap.
he's
We'll
cheap, but
we'll
I
see.
still think he's going to pay his guys.
We'll see. We'll see what he does with Burrows.
He's definitely paying Burrow and Chase.
He's
Definitely. Now Higgins is the one that I think probably ends up going
Yeah, I think he leaves in free agency next year, unless they
because he's
franchise
going to get a
tag.
bag from somebody with. I think a team with the young quarterback, or a team that drafts a quarterback is going to be looking at. All right, let's pick him up and pair them with that young quarterback.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. All right, man. So I was trying to wait for Clarence to get here, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop this theory on y'all. I've been thinking about this. I've been in the lab thinking about this.
He's been cooking this up.
He's gonna mess that all up. So we've been talking about Chris Jones, right? And this could happen with or without him, right? Now we all know that Chris Jones is a major cog as far as a pass rusher, right? Now this offseason, they kind of went left with the pass rusher. Like FAU isn't a typical Steve Spagnuolo
Yep.
pass rusher. He's more of a speed guy, coming off the edge type, stand up pass rusher. BJ Thompson, they drafted what, fifth round?
Yeah, I think it's a
Another
5th-round pick. Yeah.
another one of those guys. Last year, Leo Chenal was known as one of those type of pass rushers from a linebacker standpoint. I've been hearing in camp that George Karlaftis has been standing up, doing things as a pass rusher. Charles Omenihu, he has a defensive end body, but he could play D tackle. What if they had a plan B? which I believe, all GMs have plan B, C,
Yeah, they definitely
D.
got a plan B.
But what if they said we have an alternative plan and they're moving towards more so a Joe Cullen type of defense instead of a Steve Spags type of defense, or mixing it a little bit. Next year, you know who's going to be a free agent? Just off
Um,
the top of your head, or free
trying to
agents,
think. Wait, what did you say?
or free agents from the defensive end standpoint.
Or defense end?
Hmm.
Man, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. Maybe one of those dudes from Washington.
No, well, yeah, Chase Young, but Josh Allen from Jacksonville, who
Yep.
was coached by.
And they already talked about the Chiefs being in on him like every trade deadline.
But yeah, Josh Allen from Jacksonville, who was coached by Joe Cullen. Brian Burns, another one who was coached, who's in that mode of that type of defensive end. So my theory is, and this is just a theory, I'm not saying that this is ironclad, this is something that is going to happen. But I'm just saying, what if they planned, okay, if we can't come to a deal with Chris Jones, maybe we got to change our philosophy a little bit over here. Maybe we need to get pass rushers that fit more Joe's type than more Spags. Now Spags ain't getting no younger either. He getting up there in age. And I think eventually they will transition to where Joe Cullen may be the defensive coordinator. And that, because like I said, the BJ Thompson pick was kind of like I ain't gonna say it was a head scratcher, but it was different. It wasn't your typical Spags defensive end. He likes the big 6'7",
Yep.
290-pound guy who's a bull rusher, like George. More like
Yep.
George.
Like George. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Frank wasn't like that. He said,
Why you gotta boo me? It's just a theory, man. It's just a theory. I'm
yeah,
not saying.
with
I'm
all
just
due
saying.
respect, Chris, the theories, it's a theory. I hope that doesn't happen. Because I just think it's different when you're getting that pressure from the interior versus the
I
edge
agree.
guys.
I agree. I'm not saying that I want it to happen. I'm
No, I
just
know
saying.
you don't.
I'm just saying. What if there are going for a plan B to where they have pass rushers, a different type of pass rusher? They're preparing for life after Chris Jones, which it would be next year.
I mean, it's definitely possible if they want to
If they,
get the
if
edge
they don't
rushers
give,
like
because if they don't give that money to Chris,
yeah,
maybe they get that money to Josh Allen. Maybe they get that money to Brian Burns.
that money's got to. I agree with that. Money's got to go somewhere. Obviously,
I'm not saying it'll happen. Uh, that's where Charles Aminu comes in.
that's true. I do think Minihue will be playing on the inside a lot. I think that'd
That's
be his
where
best
that's where
role.
that's where Keandre Colburn comes in at. Because they said,
I just don't know, man. I
I'm
get what
not
you're
saying
saying, and it
I'm
makes
not
sense,
saying
but
it's the right thing. I'm just saying they don't just make moves just to be making moves. They don't just do stuff. Brett Veach, you know what Brett Veach does a lot of times, and y'all ignore it. He will dangle it right in front of your face.
yeah,
He'll do just like this, right under y'all noses, and y'all just be like, "Nah," y'all look right past it. And then when he drop it on y'all lap, the whole time he been showing you what he been doing. So I'm just saying, man, it's just a theory. I ain't saying it's gonna happen. Don't kill me over here. I know y'all like to kill me because my last, theory with the Justin Jefferson. You see, Joe over here talking about Jefferson. We ain't getting Jefferson, man. It ain't happening.
see, I think I almost like the Jefferson theory better, just because I like Justin Jefferson that much.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm not saying I want it to happen. But I'm just saying, sometimes you got to plan for plan B. What if we don't get Chris back? What if we don't come to an agreement? You got to cover
See,
you got to cover yourself. And I'm not
this is
saying
the
it's the
only
right
theory I
cover.
really had on Chris Jones, and it was you trade him for Quentin Williams and like a third round pick, but then obviously Quentin Williams got paid. That's one I would have done too, because I mean, Quentin Williams is on trajectory to have a Chris Jones like career.
Yeah, but why would you just? I mean, I'm not gonna. I like Quentin Williams, but I'm not about to trade only because he's younger. Yeah, but I'm not gonna trade a what if. Not even a what if, but he doesn't get the sacks that
He doesn't. He
Chris
doesn't get the
Jones
15
get.
sacks.
Like Chris Jones is light years better. Like maybe Quentin Williams develops into that, but since Chris Jones has been here, he's been that. Like his pass rushing skills have been there. Now he's developed in other areas, especially last year. He developed better in the run game. Was a little bit more patient because the knock on Chris Jones was what he was a sack crazed dude. He'd go for the sacks and he would run past the running back. And you know what I'm saying, he would, there to get a big gain because he was going after the quarterback. He was headhunting. Now this year or past season, he was a little bit more patient with his pass rush, and he was better against the run. So I think he's coming into his prime now to where he's probably the best defensive tackle, or at least 1A 1B to Aaron Donald when Aaron Donald's healthy. So like I said, I ain't trying to trade. I'm not trying to, say don't pay that man. I'm not trying to trade Chris Jones. All I'm saying is, what if they plan for this plan B just in case Chris Jones doesn't want to sign? He's playing this season. Regardless. Well, regardless what happened, he's playing with the Kansas City Chiefs for the 2023-2024 season.
Y-
He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be playing.
Do you think there's a chance he holds out? I
No,
mean, that's a lot of money to miss out on, though.
that's what I'm saying. He's not going to hold that. Well, he get 28 million this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I know it's not guaranteed, but still, that's 28 million. He ain't walking away with 28 million.
no. Nobody's
So
leaving that money on the table, not even in
no,
a negotiation
exactly.
period.
So, like I said, I'm still holding out hope that Chris Jones still gets signed. You know what I'm saying? I still believe that it still can get done. It's still preseason is about to be here, but until we start flirting with regular season games, I'm still holding out hope. But all I'm saying is, what if Brett Beach and his team had a plan B? Because, like I said, they don't draft players just for no reason, just to say, "Oh, let's see what this guy can do." No, they draft for the future.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think they drafted.
He is, but he's. I mean, it's one thing to lose money for a week,
It's
Joe.
one thing to lose 50,000 versus 28 million.
You know what I'm saying? There's one day losing for a week, and maybe he holds out this week too. Maybe he got a 2 week plan. And a
I
lot of
don't think
times,
he was. He said a 2 week plan.
and a lot of times these dudes don't want to come to training camp. Let's just keep it real. They don't want to be out there in that hot
It's
ass
hot.
sun. St. Joe, you see Travis Kelsey slapping people, beating people up because it's
There's
hot
been a
out
fight
there.
at training camp like almost every day.
Yeah, which is a non-issue. I know that's training camp. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
he don't want to be out there, man. It's hot out there, man.
It's 100 degrees. It feels like 110.
Yeah, and Andy Reid runs like 175 plays a day. Like, yeah, I won't be out there. They know what I bring to the table, so I'm definitely, I think this is just like I said. That was just my theory. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. It may not even be true, but I'm just saying maybe Brett Veach had an alternative just in case this is the last season for Chris Jones. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's talk about Sean Payton, Ty.
Yeah, Sean Payton.
He's over there making headlines already, talking trash about Nathaniel Hackett, the old coach for the Denver Broncos. Now we know Denver, they had a kind of a loud off season last year, making headlines, getting Russell Wilson, aka Let's Ride, Mr. Unlimited. And it didn't go as planned, you know. Russell Wilson didn't look too good. Nathaniel Hackett looked incompetent as a head coach. So he took his talents up north and went to New York Jets. And what did the New York Jets do? They got A.A. Rod, baby. Because you know why? Him and Nathaniel Hackett are like this.
And did you see what Rogers said in response?
Yeah, I saw all that, man. But for those who don't know, Sean Payton was in there talking mess, talking trash, saying that the Jets, all they want to do is make headlines over there. They want to win the offseason. We want to win games. You know what I'm saying? Talking trash. And then he, recanted his statements and was like, oh, I had my commentator hat on at the time. And so I just think he saw Robert Saleh from them arms and he was like, I don't want no smoke with that kid. I don't want no problems. My bad, Rob. My bad. I ain't want nothing. But Aaron Rodgers responded and just said, mind your damn business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You worry about your team, and we got what we got over here. We'll see y'all week 5 when we whoop that ass. I'm paraphrasing. But
yeah, he didn't say all that, but that's that's what he was thinking too.
He's gonna put a little extra sauce on that game. So.
Yeah, I agree with what Roger said. I think it was way out of line. I get the coaching was bad last year. Everybody knows that. That's something you can just keep behind closed doors. Like you don't go out and say that in a press conference. And honestly, let's call it like it is. Who's Sean Payton to be telling people, how to coach a team? Let's call it like it is. He won 1 Super Bowl with Drew Brees. His playoff record is not that great, and he had Bountygate. I really think Sean Payton's kind of getting a big head to where he thinks maybe he's like a Bill Belichick or Andy Reid type coach. He's not up there for me, not anywhere close to those guys. And I really think he was trying to have a built-in excuse. What was this like on day 1 of training camp? I think he showed up and he looked around and he said, "This is way worse than what I thought it was." He said, "This is way worse." He had to come up with some kind of built-in excuse. That way, if things do fail, he can just be like, "Well, it was bad coaching last year. It was a lot for them to learn. It was just a bad, a bad transformation." I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton is a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. Because, like you said, there was a lot of dark days with them and the Saints, especially, with Drew Brees. And, for whatever reason, you could say, the defense wasn't that good, for a lot of those years or whatever. But still, they missed the playoffs a lot with Drew
They
Brees.
did. And then they lost in the playoffs a lot when they were the 1 seed that one year, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, And Drew Brees put up he put up big numbers, but it was a lot of them years that he put up them 5,000 yards where he was out of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. Sean Payton, he needs to just mind his business. He probably, like you said, he probably showed up to camp and was like, man, Russell Wilson is trash right there. Like, I'm not feeling this at all. I don't know why I took this job, which I never understood why he took the job.
Me either. Like, I would have waited another year probably to take a different job.
Yeah.
Or I thought Sean Payton would want like a clean slate. In Denver, there's already a lot of decisions you don't get to make. Your quarterback's Russell Wilson. You don't get to move off of him with that contract anytime soon. Yeah. So I really thought he would go somewhere where he could probably get, a young quarterback and build them up. But I feel like, maybe with him being a little bit older, he wanted to go to a team he felt ready to compete. The problem is he showed up at day 1 training camp and realized they're not ready to compete.
And then he picked the division with Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly. Right? And Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert, who just got paid. So
exactly. Yeah. He's going to be in here for another 10 years probably too.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know who's looking bad. Who's looking worse, Denver or the Raiders? Because we all know how the Raiders look. With
I
Jimmy G.
think based off of coaching, I do think Sean Payton is a way better coach than Josh McDaniels.
Oh, he's light years better than Josh
Yeah,
McDaniels. Yeah, I think he's light years better
but
than
that's
Jimmy.
a low bar to
Yeah,
clear. I mean,
that's nothing to be talking about. But I just saw that Tim Patrick got carted off, so he might be hurt again.
man, this will be like the third year in a row he's gotten hurt.
Yeah, that's gonna be a death blow for them because he's one of their better wide receivers for sure.
Yeah, and then they got that other receiver that I still haven't seen anything from, Hamler.
Yeah,
They got a lot of injury prone receivers over there. Even Jerry Judy. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. He's on the field, he's good, but and Cortland Sutherland ain't too healthy either. He always get hurt too.
yeah,
We never talk about that. We never talk about how Denver and is like a replica of the Chargers when it comes to wide
yeah.
receivers and injuries.
They're like the knockoff version of the Chargers.
It's like the Spider Man,
Yeah,
they pointing at each other like, that's a good discovery, Ty. You know what I'm saying? We need to discuss that a lot more. The
yeah.
receivers for the Denver Broncos are just as hurt and injury prone as the Chargers.
They are. It is. Don't stop at the receivers either. I mean, you look around. Obviously, the offensive line struggles to stay healthy too. The tight ends. The tight end. I remember when Noah Fant was there. He was always getting hurt. Then he went up to Seattle. I can't remember if he stayed healthy all of last year. But
Yeah, it looks like another we're gonna have this division wrapped up by Thanksgiving again. So
I think so. Because with the Chargers, I know they drafted that receiver, but I don't think they needed another receiver. To be honest with you, they got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I just think they need better coaching. Let's just call it like it is. That's where Sean Payton should have went, but they didn't fire the coach.
yeah. Yeah, Quentin Johnson looks like he's making plays out there, though. I will say that.
Yeah, he does.
Every time I look up, he's catching a nice little pass. So maybe he's going to be the cog in their offense that they need.
Probably. I mean, maybe once Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen probably get hurt eventually. I don't wish that on them, obviously, but they're going to miss some time throughout the season. That's just a given.
Keenan Allen is on a hamstring.
He's missing like 5 weeks at least.
Yeah. Mike Williams, he, other than last year, he's usually relatively healthy, but Keenan Allen is going to get hurt.
Yeah.
He's like, what Kadarius Toney is now, that's what Keenan Allen is becoming. That's what he's been, They always get hurt. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Always.
One thing you always can count on is death, taxes, and Chargers players getting hurt.
Exactly. And then it's always like they sign a big free agent and then they play like 2 weeks and they get hurt. Like, what's going on with that medical staff over there?
They're terrible.
They are.
Now, I believe the report on, they had that report on all the teams, like staff and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The facilities. I believe all their report. They definitely should have had an F on their medical staff.
They should have. What did they have? I feel like they had one of the higher grades, which I just couldn't.
How, Sway? How?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, maybe. But then again, the players grade it, so maybe their medical staff is really nice, but they're not getting the job done.
This is the same medical staff that tried to take out Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, they did. They punctured his lung
on purpose. I'm still thinking it's on purpose. I think they wanted Justin Herbert out there, and the owner Spanos was like, "Do what you gotta do." They took him out.
And Tyrod Taylor had that team competing too. I remember that because we thought we was playing against Tyrod Taylor. Then you turn it on like 11-4. Like the game was like at 3, and at like 2:45, they're like, "It looks like Justin Herbert's gonna be starting today." I'm like, "What?"
How do you puncture somebody's lung on accident?
Yeah, on accident.
Yeah, there's something wrong with their medical staff. They need help. They really do. They need help. Well, looks like Clarence ain't coming today.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it.
So, all right, Ty. Looks like we, go ahead and land this thing, brother.
Yeah.
We had some pretty good discussions today. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for the wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? I
Me
hope
too.
my I hope my theory isn't true. I hope we sign Chris Jones, and I want everybody to know that. Don't be trying to put put some narratives on Chris saying that, oh, he said that, I want Chris Jones to be a Kansas City Chief for the rest of his career. Like I said, when you're a GM, you gotta have plan B, C, D, F, and G. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, you get the players you want to keep, and sometimes you can't keep them because they want more money, and kudos to them. Get your money.
Right. And I don't think he was expecting Chris to ask for 30 million, to be honest with
I
you.
don't
I think,
either. I
yeah.
think I think that he was expecting. I think they was waiting for the Quentin Williams deal to get done. They saw what he got. They're gonna give him a little bit more than Quentin Williams. Well, Chris Jones and his team was like, "Nah, bruh, you need to be getting close to Aaron Donald money because you were better than Aaron Donald last year."
Yep.
So, and like I said, I'm not mad at Chris, man. Get what you can get, man.
Exactly. While you can, because let's be honest, on that 1 year deal that he has this year, and I don't want this to happen. Obviously, I never wish injury on anybody. I'm just saying it's totally possible he goes out there and has, a season-ending injury. He'll never get that kind of money again. If he
Mm-hmm.
does, he'll never get close to 30 million.
No, I agree. I agree. This is probably going to be his last big contract.
Yep.
After this, if he continues to play after this contract, if he does get the contract after this one, he'll probably get maybe 2-year deals and 1-year deals. Depending on how good he is at the end of this deal. So definitely something to look out for, man.
Yeah, and I think one more thing. I'm going to add this real quick. People are saying, how Beach has the history of not paying guys, past 30. But Chris Jones, to me, there's other guys out there that have done it. Ndamukong Suh, Calais Campbell. There's other interior guys that can play till they're like 35, 36 years old and still be productive. Now, obviously, they're not putting up 15 sacks a season, but they can still give you some production.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. You said Cameron Hayward.
Yep.
Guys.
Campbell.
Yeah, there's some guys. There's some defensive tackles out there that played well into their late 30s, who are really really productive, but still really good. So, and I think Chris Jones, as long as he doesn't have any major injuries or anything like that,
Exactly.
and he continues to stay healthy and in shape, I think he still has that trajectory to be that type of guy. So, I'm not worried about that type of stuff. So, but Joe has a question: how the cornerbacks 3 through 5 looking? Was Nazi really playing that good? Gonna be missed. From what I see, he was playing really good.
Yeah, he was.
He like he's worked on his game a little bit in the off season. Faster corners, he ran like a 4.3 in the
I think he was probably our
combine.
fastest corner.
Probably was.
Yeah.
Uh, and he was he was the gunner, I think, on special teams.
Yeah. And Dave Tubb was talking him up all off season,
Mhm.
how he's, throughout the second half of the season, he was one of the best gunners. Do I think we're going to miss him, though? I mean, in some ways, definitely on the special teams for sure.
Yeah.
But we didn't need another starter. We didn't really need another starting corner. It would have been nice to have, but it's not like we don't have that, like, oh, we got to scramble and go pick up somebody else type thing.
No. Jalen Watson is still
Yeah.
there. Joshua Williams is still there.
We drafted the Chamari Connor.
But the one kid you do want to watch out for is the Nick Jones kid.
Yep.
Nick Jones, he has been making plays in training camp. He was known as a ball hawk. He slipped to the 7th round because he got injured.
Mm-hmm. And he played at that smaller school.
Yeah. He played at small. It was Ball State, right?
Yeah.
So, but he got hurt last year. So and a lot of scouts said if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have been a higher pick. So that's somebody to look out for. Is Nick Jones, like you said, Shamari Connor. He's another one. I think they play him more of a hybrid between corner and safety, type, because he's very versatile. He could, get after the quarterback. He can guard tight ends and stuff like that. So, so yeah, I think we'll be pretty good. We still got the core: L'Jarius Sneed,
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and Joshua Williams. Those are the four.
And if you really wanted to bring in another guy, I would go out and get Chris Lamons because you don't, like I said, you don't need a starter. He could fill that special teams role.
I think he got signed somewhere.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I think he got signed to somebody.
He got picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that'd be good because he already knew the defense. But if he's gone, we're gonna have to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Mike Hughes is still out there. I'm just saying.
You watch your damn mouth. Don't you dare put that evil on us. Yeah, he's with the Colts. Go figure.
The Colts got Hughes or Lamons?
Lamons.
They always pick up all our old players, don't they? I feel like them in Baltimore.
Yeah, they do. San Francisco too.
Yeah.
They always get our old players. How you feel about Marcus Peters on the Raiders?
I'm not worried about it. I mean, I think it was a good signing for the Raiders, though. They definitely needed a corner. I don't think he's what he used to be.
Oh,
But
that's right. Ain't that your boy country?
Chris Lamons.
Yeah.
No, I was playing. I didn't mean the Mike Hughes. No, I do not want to see. He said he would be in NFL.
You see what you did, Ty?
Yeah.
Country over here triggered. You mad right now. Throwing stuff, kicking stuff on.
Punching his phone or something, though.
No,
Yeah, but with Marcus Peters, I mean, he is what he is at this point of his career. He's one of those all or nothing corners like I talk about with Diggs. He's either going to get an interception or he's getting cooked for 50 yards.
Double move Marcus Peters. I mean,
He always bites. Always. Like, dude, you got to learn.
It is what it is, man. All right,
I
man.
don't think it makes their defense any better, honestly. I mean,
he definitely makes their cornerback room better.
Yeah, definitely the corner. But the defense as a whole, to me,
Their linebackers are still weak.
What about the safeties? I can't even name who their safeties are, to be honest with you. I know is Jonathan Abrams still there?
I threw my laptop. No, but I don't know. No, he's gone. They got rid of him. I know they got Rocky Sin over there. I know they got that one kid that was with the Eagles last year, Epps.
Yeah, they did pick him up. But he
got,
wasn't really impressive either. That was probably the weak point of that Eagles defense last year.
Yeah, because C.J. Gardner-Johnson was their best safety.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It's looking rough over there. Now, I think something I was going to bring this up earlier because you mentioned Renfro. I don't know how true this is. It's something I've seen on Twitter. I can't remember if it was Dov Kleinman or, one of those guys posted about the Raiders possibly having to move on from Hunter Renfro. And I was thinking, I know we got a lot of receivers over here, but Renfro's proven, man.
They ain't trading him to us, man.
No, not that.
He's going to be on the NFC side, catching passes. So get that out your mind, brother. He ain't coming to the Chiefs. He ain't coming to the Chiefs. I don't know why they're getting rid of him, though. I know he had a down year, but he was hurt most of the season, too.
And the whole team, Derek Carr had a down year, which caused him to have – I know Devontae Adams still put up his numbers, but, that's Devontae Adams.
Right. And it's funny, you see Chief highlights of training camp, it's down the field passes and stuff.
Yeah.
They show Jimmy G passes, they're like 5 yards now.
Quick out. Quick out.
Little quick outs to Devontae Adams.
He better just spam that all day.
Nothing big down the field.
That is a slant route.
This nice little 5 and out. Who? Don't you dare.
No.
How
No, Renfro is way better receiver than Justin Watson. And I was saying it earlier in the chat. When you watch Justin Watson play, does anybody else notice how stiff he runs his routes? Like, it just drives me crazy. I've never seen somebody so stiff. Like, it's like I don't know how to explain it, man, but he's just like stiff as a board when he's out there running his routes. He's got no movement.
Yeah, you know how I feel about him. I get it. He's serviceable. He's a veteran. He's got a little speed to him, and he's good on special teams. I get it. You know, you need receivers like that, but I just wish he would fight for the ball a little bit more. You know, you're 6'3", man. Play big, man. Stop playing like you 5'9".
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's my only gripe with him. So we'll see though.
And just the stiffness, man. I just really, when I watched those one-on-ones the other day, I couldn't help but notice it. I was like, you watch Sky Moore in one-on-one, and then you put them next to each other, you can
I
see
don't
it.
know.
It's different.
Hey, he running still, but he's still beating some of the. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing on our corners, but he's still beating the corner.
He's beating them.
That's
I don't
right.
know. He did beat J.C. Jackson last year, like I said, but
Yeah, J.C. Jackson was hurt, so whatever. All
exactly.
right, man. It's another good show in the books.
Yep.
Sorry, Clarence couldn't make it, y'all. You know he's a busy man, busy man. So hopefully he'll be. It's the next episode.
Yep.
Same thing with Mark. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can show up to the next one. So, all right, man. Let's give a shout out to Every Morning Quarterback. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see the link emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you go to that link, you'll see the locker room access of all the podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback umbrella. You got a Chargers one, a Patriots one, a Jets one, and they got ours, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. Click on the banner. You see all our episodes from the past to the recent ones. So go ahead and subscribe and all that good stuff. And also check them out on YouTube. They got their own channel. They talk about everything league wide, and they talk about college football. They give you betting tips for the week, fantasy football stuff too. So go ahead and check them out, subscribe to their channel, and follow them on Twitter at EMQ Podcast down at the bottom. Also, whatever streaming platform that you use to listen to your podcast, Arrowhead Chief Podcast is available. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Breaker, iHeart, all of them. Whatever you listen to your podcast on, Arrowhead Chief Podcast is on there. And if you see the sign above Ty, that at
Yep.
AH Chief Podcast, you can follow us on all social media apps. It used to be Twitter, now it's X. It's X. And what else? Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. We're on all of them, baby. We trying to expand global, So follow us. We'll follow you back. Clarence would usually say we're not Hollywood. And my man Joe, he said it best, we Hollywood over here, you know what I'm saying? We're drinking champagne out of red cups, you know what I'm saying? No, but go ahead, follow us. We'll follow you back because we are not Hollywood over here. We are fans just like y'all. We're just trying to give y'all the best Chiefs content that we can bring y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because there are many Chief podcasts out here that you can get your content from. So we just trying to give y'all the best that we can bring y'all.
From a different perspective.
From a different perspective, man. So shout out to all the subscribers out there, all the people who follow us, all the people who hit us up, talk to us, interact with us.
Yep.
We appreciate y'all, man. Continue to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, always, our door is open. Y'all want something up for us to talk about? Hit us up. You know what I'm saying? We'll bring it up. As long as it's within reason. And remember, talk to us nice and normal. Don't come at us with no static because I'll send Ty to your house. Like I said, I'll send him to your house and slap you real quick. He might run to his car, but he'll slap you. No. But for real, I hope everybody has a good rest of y'all week. We got football this week, Thursday, Hall of Fame game. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not real football, but hey, it's football. You know what I'm saying?
I might watch a quarter.
Maybe. Watch a series. Watch Zach Wilson throw an interception in preseason.
Yeah, there's somebody he's doing good, but I got to see it.
He better be good with Aaron Rodgers. Better do something. Yeah, all them offensive weapons they got over there. He can't throw a pass 5 yards.
Exactly. He really can. That's the problem. He can throw the deep ball perfectly. It's those little layups. He just cannot hit them.
Throw a 5 and out. That's what makes you a quarterback in this league, man. Throw a 5
Yeah.
and out.
You see Jimmy G, he's getting paid.
Hey. That's all
He
I'm saying.
wins.
Alex Smith made a living off that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
It works
that's
until
what
the
I'm saying.
playoffs come normally.
All right, y'all. Till next time, we gone.